Hello everybody and welcome back to PixelMgc for another video on logo design. So today I got an assignment on designing a logo for a YouTube channel. So name is Spreading Dots. So here I skipped one step, that is the image collection state, which requires for each and every logo design process, as it is a customized format of the channel, so I didn't get that kind of reference image on that. So I started drawing on a pen and paper, keeping the input in mind that represents S and D, and with some dots in the logo. So for the process, how to do it, so let's get started. To start the process, I have chosen as usual 1000 into 1000 pixel artboard. I am using Illustrator to do that. Now it's time to place the sketches what I did before. Here's the sketch. So I'm just resizing it. Now here I'm taking a rectangle to clip it, only the logos, excluding those extra parts. Selecting both the rectangle and shape, I'm just create a right click and create a clipping mask. Now it's time to draw it. So moving to the first image, here I've drawn 6 out of it. From those 6 I'm going to draw 4 sample logos, and from which the client will have to decide which is best for him. So I'm just locking this layer so that it could not move, it should not move while drawing it. I just created another layer, and here I'm just starting with a ellipse tool to draw the first logo's outlines. Here I've chosen a empty rectangle, so I just want to give black border to it. Moving to the inner part, again I'm choosing an ellipse tool. Using direct selection tool, I'm just clicking the bottom anchor point, and using down arrow key I'm going to move it downwards. Again selecting the side anchor points, both of them, by holding shift and moving it upwards using upper arrow key. And the topmost anchor point, I'm just going to move a little bit up, and this part, the bottom part, should be a little bit higher. Now it's done. Now it's time to draw the inner part. And here I'm just trying to follow the path. If you are not satisfied with the path, you can change it. Because while drawing it, it doesn't should not be a perfect drawing. It's a sketch, as I said that, but in my mind I have different planning. There is some changes required while transferring or transforming into the digital form of the logo. So I'm just trying to draw it as fast as possible, then I'll make some changes. I'm just hide it down the layer, the first layer. Here I'm going to make some changes to fill it. It should be look like S and D, and it's an inspiration from the Superman logo. The kind of Superman logo is placed in a triangular shape. This I just try to inspire from that logo and put it S and D here. Here I am adding an anchor point. The changes I am made over here, keeping S in mind, because both shapes should complement each other. As the process requires lots of patience, so be patient and try to change as much as you are not satisfied with the result. And just try to keep it straight enough, the outer line of the D, and the inner part should be adjusted in such a way that it should look like a D. So here I'm making some changes on S. This part should be a little bit down. Here I am adding an anchor point here by the direct selection tool, and using pen tool I just added an anchor point here also, and making it straight enough which should match the ending of the edge. I have painted it black, the outer part. Now I am just reducing the opacity of it so that I could see the other shapes. As the client requests, the color of the logo should be cyan and black, cyan and gray. So I just trying to put those cyan and gray to S and D, and I'll use black to the outer circle and red to the inner one. So here again I want to subtract the inner part of the D from the outer shape, so I'm just making the final adjustment. Now selecting both the shapes, go to Pathfinder and click on minus front, so it will deduct the upper part. I have just given a white stroke to inner shape, and I'm going to give a red color. So there is some white space, means the space is more to the outer circle. I'm going to reduce it, and before that I'm reducing the inner shape to so letter should be the letter should be look like popped out of the shape. Now, as I said that I'm reducing the size of the outer circle. Now it's done. Now it's time to put some effect on this S and D. I'm going to select all the shapes. I'm going to effect and stylize and drop shadow. As you can see, here are some values inputted over before. As I worked on some logo, I am satisfied with the result by clicking on preview, so I'm not going to make any change over here. I'm just pushed the OK button, and right now the first logo is done. Now for the letter, here I am using a sans serif type text. You can download this kind of text from any website like thefont.com or fontspace.com. You can have very good looking font, but while using these fonts, make sure that it should be commercially free or 100% free, because some fonts are only used for personal use, that can be used for any commercial purpose. So here S is little bit came down in comparison to D, so I'm just making adjustment which will match the ending of the D. You can see now it's okay. The guideline will guide you where to set your shapes or letters like this. So for dot purpose, I'm just using this tool to make it little bit sprayed out of it. Spread type of effect I've given. You can find this tool on toolbar. Making it align. Now I'm just select the images and put on expand appearance and expand them, because after expanding, if you change the size, whether reducing or enlarging them, it will not affect any shape. Now I am making it visible to the layer 1, where I could start off second logo. Here also I am using pen tool, because this is the only tool where we could use very efficiently to draw customized shape, and we can also adjust it properly using those anchor points and handles. For D part I'm using a rounded rectangle, so I'm going to minus it from front side. I just took a rectangle and copy it out, reduce the size and make it minus from the front so that I could get the shape. Here I can do some adjustment using direct selection tool. Here I'm using arrow key to make it down, and the bottom part make it up, and the outer part also I'm just extruding outside. Now I just want to cut it out this shape, drawn a shape, and just using pathfinder tool I just made it minus front. I'm doing the same thing for the bottom part also. Now the bottom part should be a little bit longer, that's why I'm selecting those parts only and using arrow key and making the adjustments. Here it should be straight enough, so I'm just making it straight. So the upper part I don't want to be as it is right now. I just want to cut it in the shape of S, so I'm just selecting both the shape and clicked on divide so that it will create it properly. Now I'm going to join the S part. As I've applied divide, so this shape was divided. Now I just clicked on unite using again the same pathfinder tool. Now it's time to draw the dots. I just increased the stroke to 2 point to make it properly visible, and the inner circle I'm going to fill it with gray color. Now here I'm going to object and expand it so that, as I said, if I reduce it, it will not affect the shape. It will proportionally reduced without affecting the overall shape. Now the second logo is ready. Now moving on to the third one. It's a simple one, so you can draw it using again the pen tool, reducing the transparency, that is opacity level, to less than 100. If you're not getting it here, you can go to Windows and you can see over here transparency. This will make you unable to show the panel what I just opened it, or to Pathfinder, if it is not there, you can got it from here. So any tool on the rightmost panel I am using. If you are not getting them, then go to window. You could find it all the tools what I am using. Here I am not using much more tools over here. Mostly I am using Pathfinder and transparency tool, so you can find out them as I have told you from the above menu. So upper part is ready. Now here I am just drawing off the sketch because I don't want the shape starting should be straight, it should be matched to the circle created underneath. No, here I have to join at this point, so I'm just making that happen. Now increase opacity, it's done tracing the sketch, so you don't need further. So here also I'm just using a dot, making the outer stroke to 2 points and get a inner circle with gray color and putting it in the middle. The third one is ready, and the fourth one. So here I've draw some different kind of image with some line to it. As I said that I have already finalized, the client has already finalized the logo. You can see in the preview of the beginning of this video, and at the end also I'll show you which one is the final one. So I'm not going to draw the details as I have tell you. I just want to demonstrate you how I'm doing and how you could represent all the logo to your client when you are getting less amount of information about the logo. So this part I'm using ellipse tool and just making it a little bit angular shape, reducing the size, holding Alt, dragging it down to copy it out, and holding Shift from the corner you can reduce the size. So the layer 1 part is no more required, as we have already sketched or traced all the required images. So I'm going to delete it. Now it's time to put some text, the name to each of these three logos. So I'm going to use different font for different logos, as this one a little bit wider one, so I'm going to use a wider text. It's a sans serif kind of font and the wider one. Which suits the logo. Whenever we're applying or applying text to any logo design, try to match up the overall logo design. The font should be matched to the logo. For third one, I am going to use some decorative kind of fonts, as the S is little bit decorative, so I'm going to use some decorative kind of font to it. And for the last one, I'm going to use which will look like a Hindi typing, but it is English typed in a Hindi format way. So I'm placing it properly to represent it using Photoshop, because representation is the most important thing on a logo design. While you are representing it to the client, it should be reflect how it's going to look like when it will be applied on a real life image. So I'm going to show it by putting on a wall. For that I'm using a Photoshop file, it is normally known as your mockups. That mockup files you can download freely from internet. It's available from lots of sites. One popular site for mockup downloads is prepic.com. So I'm going to show you how to use those mockups. After creating your logo on Illustrator, you have to export it to PNG format. I'm doing the same. I'm exporting it to PNG format. Giving a name, click on OK, and make sure the resolution should be 300 pixels for a better result. So I'm going to open Photoshop. Here I have already downloaded a mockup file. This is a mockup file which is predefined demo logo over here. We have to put the logo on that canvas. To do that, just go to the first layer, double click over here. It will open another window. So here just remove that demo version. How to do that? Just click on the I button, as I did. You can see, and I'm open that PNG file, selecting them and dragging it to the canvas, making some adjustment using transform tool. As you can see, the mockup contains some kind of lighting to the right side of the canvas and less lighting towards the left side of the canvas. So I just trying to put it to the left side to make it more visible enough, because if light will be applied, some color may change over those areas where light is applied. So I'm just trying to put all this logo towards left. So I'm resizing to end of this screen. So you can do your own as per your requirements. You can change the angle and change the place. I'm going to close it down. It will ask to save you. Click on yes. Now it's just creating the mockup by applying effects. Now click on the first file. This is a 3D version of your logo. You can see how beautiful it looks like. And this kind of logo, if you would represent to your client, it will be more effective and more create a very good impression towards you. So this is the final outcome of the logo. This is the final logos decided, means chosen by my client. This logo he is going to use on his YouTube channel. So if you like my content, please subscribe and like my channel, and click on bell icon to get the notification of newly added video.